Right. Hello. Afternoon. Happy Friday. Welcome to the deep dive. Let's get some of these set. Sure, all these are good. All right. What's up, Beautograph over on YouTube? I rolled a 1 versus change to production filament. So back to CAD, but there's a mac and cheese in the near future. Nice. And then sherbet. Nice. Sounds yummy. I have been slightly dabbling in the CAD today myself. A little bit earlier today, I was messing with OpenSCAD to redesign this little bracket piece that is used by my bathroom faucet because the way it was installed is weird. And I have tried printing this little bracket piece, but it was flimsy and broke, and then I tried printing 2 of them and they were also flimsy and broke, and now I have redesigned it to be thicker. And it will still probably break, but hopefully it gets another couple of years. But actually come up with a real solution. Let me here. What is up, y'all know, over in the YouTube chat. Nice to see you today, my friend. What's this? All right, sorry, I'm a few minutes behind here, but am straightening out my windows so I can see the chats and stuff now, and then we'll get this show on the road, as they say. One more thing, actually, I'd like to do. Okay, yes, welcome. First of all, thanks to everyone for watching. This is a deep dive, which weekly live stream dealing with CircuitPython. If you are new to the program and you don't know, my name is Tim. I go by Foamy Guy on GitHub and Discord. The deep dive was started originally. This live stream here was started originally by Scott Shawcroft, lead developer of CircuitPython. He is working a reduced schedule right now, out on parental leave, so I am here filling in on the deep dive. If you are new and don't know Deep Dive, it's a weekly live stream where we dive into the internals of CircuitPython. Scott, as the lead developer, is obviously working on cutting edge stuff, you know, whatever's up and coming in the CircuitPython world. That's usually what Scott's working on. I work at a bit of a higher level, most frequently, but do still venture down into the core from time to time. If you would like to learn more about CircuitPython, you can do so here at circuitpython.org, which is the main website for Arduino. Oh, to CircuitPython porting. Okay, I was like, I thought it said Arduino for CircuitPython for a second. I was confused. Sorry, sometimes my attention span is a little bit spastic. So yeah, circuitpython.org, that's where you can go to learn more. If you don't know what it is, it's basically a version of Python that runs on tiny computers called microcontrollers. Usually the way it works, you plug these things into your computer, they show up like a thumb drive. You can edit a Python code file on that thumb drive, and then when you save it, the microcontroller, the actual computer that's in these little chips here, will execute the Python code for you. And then, you know, depending on which microcontroller you have, there may be like I/O pins, like these Raspberry Pi Picos have loads and loads of pins all along the side here where you can connect up other electronic peripherals, other devices, such as hot off the presses, the brand new Fruit Jam have loads of built-in hardware where there's lots of stuff wired up that you can use, although the Fruit Jam does have a decent chunk of I/O pins there as well, broken out for you to connect other bits and bobs to as you so desire. As always, we'll say thanks to Adafruit. Adafruit is a hardware and software company based out of New York. They are the ones who make CircuitPython possible by paying the team of folks, including Scott and myself, who work on the project full-time, as well as some other folks too. They design and manufacture electronics based out of the New York factory over there in Brooklyn. They created the Fruit Jam device, which I just pulled up a moment ago. This is kind of the brand new, newest thing in the shop over there. But they also design all sorts of other microcontrollers and all kinds of other doodads that you can hook up to your microcontroller to have fun with, to make projects with, to do things with. So head over there, get yourself some hardware if you would like, and if you do, that helps them keep everything running, which is nice because that also helps CircuitPython keep everything going. So huge thanks to them, as always, for paying people to work on open source software, and huge thanks to everyone who purchases hardware from them to make that possible. If all else fails, send out one to the low-quality fab houses and have the part dimensions correct. Yeah, my wife actually just said earlier we could give it to JLC or one of those. Well, I don't know. Do they do? I don't know if she said JLC, but anyway, one of the services, one of the fab services, to get it made in metal. It's like essentially the problem is there was a metal piece that served this purpose, but the way that the faucet is in the countertop doesn't work. It doesn't fit. Basically, it was either the faucet it doesn't work with the countertop, or maybe the countertop was cut incorrectly. I don't really know anything about countertops, so I don't really know, or faucets, frankly. So I don't really know which one of the sides of the fence that falls on, but basically there was a metal one, but it can't be used because of the way things are positioned. I created the plastic one to be serve the same purpose, but be slightly differently shaped so that it can actually fit. What is up, Retired Wizard? Nice to see you, my friend. All right, so we are jumping in today to Fruit Jam Land. Like I was talking about, I'm working on the Fruit Jam Learn Guide. This is not public yet, so folks cannot access it, and that is because it's not done yet, because we are in the process of writing it. So that is what we are working on today. Starting with this page, HSTX-DVI output. So far, the only things we have on this page are about the connection here. So we want to add all the rest. We want to add the code. We want to add what it's going to do and stuff like that. And I think I did check in. That would have to take some beatings, yes. Yeah. Yeah, and it's yeah, that's the other thing, is it's like mounted up under the faucet, so every time you like turn the faucet on and off, you're kind of like putting torque on it as well. So it's not really the best use case for a 3D printed part, but it does sort of work all right for a while. It's good enough for the moment until I can get a better fix in. Yeah, so I do have the code for this. We'll try this out. Things too, actually, though. I did load up the camera today because I do have the live. No, I think it died. It's close. What? In. There we go. I did load up the camera today. There's not going to be a whole lot to see, really, but I figured it'd be nice to show because I do have the new official Fruit Jam hardware. I've been working on the pre-release hardware for a while, and as folks may know, if you watch the shows on Wednesday, the new ones were briefly available. They are sold out again, so if you're still waiting on getting one, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer still. There are some more in the process of being made, and there are a bunch more coming after that as well, as far as I understand it. But the first batch did go into the shop earlier this week, so finally some folks outside of Adafruit have had a chance to get their hands on them, which is super exciting. All right, we need to load this up. Copy that. Copy did not actually work. Files. Put them on the root. And then I do have the Fruit Jam connected up here to the capture card so that I can pull it in and see it on inside VLC here, which just makes it easier to stream. All right, so we've got those files. This is what? This is the launcher for Fruit Jam OS. Say launcher. Then copy this. We'll get the code instead. Oh, instead of the file. What's up, David Glaude? Nice to see you, my friend. Says hi. So there were a lot of Metro and early Fruit Jam revision guides. Are those still working for the customer revision? Will you review them? Yeah, totally. All of those are gonna get reviewed. I believe that most of them are working. That being said, we do already know of a couple that are not, so it's definitely not 100%. Chips Challenge is one of the Metro ones. It does not currently work because of the way it's looking for fonts. There's kind of a and a couple of other things as well, actually. Yeah, thanks to Retired Wizard as well, who's in the chat. The audio as well. The pins obviously are different between the Metro and the Fruit Jam because the Fruit Jam has labeled pins for that. So some of them do need to be updated in order to work on the Fruit Jam. There should be no like groundbreaking, completely impossible. Realistically, the things that are going to need to be updated should be relatively minor. Changing pins. In this case, changing. Actually, I think this is only actually a problem. The font files part of this is only a problem under Fruit Jam OS. I think. I haven't tested it, so I could be wrong. But I think that that's actually only a Fruit Jam OS specific thing. This would be not, though. This would be an issue even if you were not using Fruit Jam OS, even if you were just trying to run Chips Challenge by itself on the Fruit Jam, you would run into this problem as well. So yeah, the short answer is most of the Metro projects should be working. Anything that is not working, you can submit issues for if you would like. And then to the second part of your question, will you review them? Yes, we have already kind of an internal to-do list where they are all laid out for us to go back over with Fruit Jam hardware and make sure they're working or change them to get them working if they aren't. So it is in the works, but it is not complete yet. That being said, I think most of them do actually work already. Okay. I copied the code. We are running this. Yeah, so this is good now. This is doing its thing. Ooh. Oh, right. That one takes some time because it's recreating the bitmap and running garbage collection and doing everything in between. Okay. So that one is good, and I am kind of basing this page actually sort of off of one of these ones just to get the structure. So we had that, we had wiring, and then what we'll do is we'll go into CircuitPython usage same way that this does. Can we consider Pico plus HSTX Bonnet a kind of Fruit Jam Mini? You could consider that. It certainly has many of the same capabilities. It doesn't have the DAC, obviously, so if you wanted sound, you would need to wire up the DAC separately. It does have the USB host pins broken out, just like the Metro does, so you could use those. Yeah, so like basically the main differences between that and a Fruit Jam are kind of like no Wi-Fi, right? The Fruit Jam has got the Wi-Fi on it now. The SD card is also built into the Fruit Jam. The DAC, like I said a minute ago. There is an IR receiver, actually. I haven't messed with it, but it is on the latest revision of hardware. You know, obviously like NeoPixels, there's 5 NeoPixels, a couple of buttons, so there are a few differences. But as far as kind of like the main, you know, the main unit, so to speak, totally a Pico 2 or even perhaps a Pico 2W and this HSTX DVI cowbell, you could certainly do a lot of the same things that you could do on a Fruit Jam. Now, I will say a Pico W, as compared to the Fruit Jam, you will have the difference between ESP32 SPI for network, which is what the Fruit Jam's gonna be using, versus on the Pico W, that's native networking, like with import Wi-Fi. So the code would not be one-to-one identical, but like Connection Manager mostly smooths that over anyway at this point, so it wouldn't be too bad. Should keep that open. But yeah, it's pretty close, pretty darn close. Especially if you were to like, you know, also wire up the DAC, you know, get yourself a little USB connector. All right. Start with the same stuff here. We'll need to change a bit of this because it does say Pico. Pico DVI is fine because that's the name of the module. Right, yeah, Pico 2W does Wi-Fi. Just the one snag there being the difference in the way that it handles Wi-Fi. It's got native Wi-Fi versus ESP32 SPI. Extract the contents. You're going to get Helvetica and Blinka Computer, which I copied over, as well as CodePy and BootPy. Ah, that's wrong, actually. Could fix this. Not going to be CodePy and BootPy. It's actually CodePy and setupdisplay.py. And on the Fruit Jam, we're not going to have that because the display is set up by the core. I'm going to go back to preview so that I'm not on the edit page. Cretins and Salivations from Toronto. What's up, Gordy G? Nice to see you, my friend. We're actually just going to be CodePy and then the libraries as well. And we'll check in a minute if those end up being different or not. Or truthfully, what I'll probably do is not check in a minute, but what I'll do is so I have all of these examples here in the Learn Guide repo. When these I'll eventually submit this as a PR, and then when it gets merged, there's an action that will create this screenshot that shows the libraries, and that's what I'll use to know for sure what those are gonna need, because it uses like I don't know, Circup or something internally to Circup. I don't think it is actually Circup. It uses PyImport or something. Basically, it scans the code to figure out what libraries it needs. We will have files, screenshot, embed. And the thing is, we can't get that. I mean, I could go manually create it, I guess, so it's not correct to say that I can't get it, but I don't want to get it until we get the actual one that's embedded in the repo where the automated thing will put it. Hello world. We should probably do this. Oh, wait, no, okay. I was gonna say hello world. I thought there was gonna be like a simple one. That's not true though. So this is just display setup. So the Fruit Jam one, this is gonna be different because we're not gonna have setup display as its own thing. That's essentially handled by the core on the Fruit Jam. So we'll just go straight into CodePy. And we don't really need any of this stuff here, but we can take this. That would be good to have. And actually the title would be good to have as well. Hello world DVI output example. Once everything is saved to CircuitPy, you can connect the Fruit Jam to an HDMI monitor and connect your... Okay, let's just say you can connect the Fruit Jam to an HDMI monitor and to USB power. Into USB power. You'll see the Hello World example display on the screen. There we go. And then the Hello World example is basically this code here, which is what we've got running. So then we'll say code.py bold header, and this will be code embed. And then I think there's a bit more after. Yeah. I think this is all about the code. It shouldn't really be about picos or anything. So this example is a port of Arduino example. Variation to show display I/O capabilities. Example begins with rectangle, shapes. Then a few charts, sine wave, bar chart. Next is text alignment. Following that's custom text, terminal I/O, quick break. Bitmap image, Blinka with computer. Finally, it shows an update, how to update the label to display information over time. Okay, good. Yeah, none of that is like, all of that is relevant to the Fruit Jam too. None of that is specific to Cowbell or Pico or anything like that. And then there is a GIF. Demo running. Which I won't be able to get here on the stream. I got to take the Fruit Jam down to the sort of little photo booth I got set up. We can do this as well, which is some more info about the example. This is basically just saying the example is structured such that it's like doing a bunch of cleanup and garbage collection in between every one of those demos. It's kind of like a bunch of samples all put together, and it does a bunch of cleanup in between each one, whereas a more typical program is likely to just draw whatever it's going to draw and then keep drawing it, keep updating it, right? There's usually not going to be this whole cleanup, garbage collect, draw an entirely new thing. And this one is just direct code, not an embed. Let's drop that. Basically a subset of the demo code, and it's just saying kind of how you would do it if you weren't going to be doing all the cleanup and everything. Okay. We are pretty good on that page. The code and the GIF and the screenshot. Well, the GIF I can get before the PR is done, but the code and the screenshot both come after the Learn Repo PR. Leave those as placeholders. Okay, USB host. So there is Blink and digital input all of these are done. They do need to be tested. We could go back through and test them on the final hardware. The last time I tested them was on the previous revision. There'd be no difference for the purposes of these tests, but we'll definitely test them on the final hardware. We could maybe do that here in a minute. I think I'll work on USB host next, though, instead of going backwards. Because USB host is still a blank page. It'll be nice to get this to be not a blank page. And then this one I am going to, I think, pretty much just base off of keyboard. It'll be quite a bit different because we don't need we could go back and update this page. I think this is no longer necessary. I'm pretty sure I just tested this keyboard on this feather and it now works without the hub. The Metro I have not tested as recently, but I presume that it's the same. And on the Fruit Jam, it's irrelevant because the hub is built into the board. But it would be good to like go back and change this to straight through and get rid of this alert if it's no longer necessary. But the rest of this will be pretty much the same. We'll use the same demo code for keyboard. Maybe we'll do the mouse also? Gamepad? That's a lot for one page. I don't know. Definitely we want keyboard though. This wording is quite a bit different, so we will change this up and just say Fruit Jam has an on-board, we'll say built-in USB hub with 2 exposed host ports. Makes it easy. Input from USB keyboards, mice. Should these be capital? I don't know, maybe not. Keyboards, mice, and game controllers. I think what I'll do maybe is let's do, I'll ask Lady Ada as well. If she's got input, then we'll go with whatever she thinks. But I'm thinking we do the STDN demo for keyboard, which is the small one, which is like, in my mind, this is what you should use unless you have a specific need to micromanage it. Because this other one here, it's a lot more code, a lot more stuff that you have to do manually inside your code versus this one, which is just like read a key, get a key, done, easy peasy. There are situations where you need this, but if you don't, then this is way nicer. But I think what we do is keyboard one with STDN. We can then link maybe over to here and be like, more advanced one is here. Can link to it because this should just work. Essentially, this code should work the same on the Fruit Jam. And then we'll also do basic mouse and basic gamepad. And I think if we keep it to the short keyboard one, then it shouldn't be too bad, I think. It shouldn't be too monster of a page, hopefully. Dinner bell's ringing, have to catch the rest on VOD. Yep, take it easy, Retired Wizard. Thanks for hanging out for a bit. Has a built-in, let me catch up to this. Adafruit. What is this one? I can't actually see very good. Oh, right, I can't copy links. Copy links. Discord with the links. You're killing me with the link copying Discord. This is crazy. Oh, Pico. Oh, right. Pico Pimeroni one has more RAM, is it? Or larger flash? Not more RAM. PS RAM. Or both, actually. PS RAM and a larger flash. Yeah, that's a good point. My apologies, friend whose name starts with an S. Supermath. There we go. That one says it. I was going to say the streamer mode covers it up for me. Supermath. First of all, thanks for hanging out here in the chat with us. And yeah, that's a good point. The Pimeroni one has more PS RAM. Rather, I should say, has the PS RAM and the larger flash, which makes it closer to the Fruit Jam than the actual Pico W. Has and built in. Yeah, thank you. Get that. A built-in USB hub. Could maybe add the specific hub, CH33F or whatever. And this code should just work, I'm pretty sure. So if we copy this and drop it on the Fruit Jam, okay, I have auto reload off now. Yeah. It doesn't put anything by default, but it will type. It'll do whatever you type. So I do have a keyboard plugged in. Camera's dead again. Today. USB here is this keyboard, which I'm not going to zoom out to show you the whole thing, but it's a USB keyboard. Basic one. In fact, it's the one in the shop. I don't know the name of it, though. I think Chiclet keyboard or something? Mini Chiclet keyboard? It's the one that the guide is on, actually. Mini Chiclet keyboard. But obviously any keyboard should work. And then we can, deep divers. We can type that and it prints whatever we type. Perfect. So that's embedded from where? Basically, the question is, do we want to reuse that or? The host examples. Yeah, honestly, I think we could just reuse that. I don't even think we need to make a new copy of that, really. So just copy this. It's going to be what we embed here. And then we'll have a GIF of the output, and I do need to capture a new one because this says Metro. We could actually do that though now, can't we? I don't need the full setup for that if I use the capture card here. Although this is actually from Serial Console. It's fine, actually. Yeah, it's fine as well. This one. Hope it's a dinner. Hope it's a dinner cowbell. Nice. Oh, that's gonna wreck my... This is the one downside. We're using VLC to see the capture card. Then want to watch a movie file. Wrecks the... I think it was fine though. And now we type out keyboard. I didn't misspell it or anything. It didn't take that long. Good. Then I have been trying to use FFmpeg where possible. Lots of software is actually just a wrapper around FFmpeg, but hard to remember how the arguments work. So I have this file. Basically, it has the things I used most frequently, which include turning things into GIFs in this case. Oh, this is probably not going to work. We'll see. I think I had to turn it to an MP4 last time, although I think I wanted to process it further. Maybe we can do it as long as we don't need to do anything else. There's maybe off. It's not red text, so I think that's fine. Cool. Okay. Hey, this usually doesn't... Was this dark before? Oh, right. This profile somehow makes the dark thing work. My other one doesn't. I don't know what's up with that. Nice, actually. Okay. And then I think what we'll do here is... Let's link to this one. See the more advanced and manual method for reading from USB keyboards. Say actually, for the more advanced and manual method for reading USB keyboards, see this. See the host demo code USB host. Section of the And then we'll do the same thing here. We'll do the basic one only, but we'll say there's a display IO one and we'll point to it. What is Fruit Jam Pages? Fruit Jam Pages. Not sure what you mean by the pages part, Honest Abe, over on YouTube. So Fruit Jam is the hardware device that we're working on here. Pages. Oh, is that what the title? Does the title of the stream say pages? It's probably talking about Learn Guide pages. Whatever you saw that says that is probably talking about Fruit Jam Guide pages. Yeah. You're probably talking about the title. But when I say guide pages, I just mean the pages in the Learn Guides. So I don't know if you're new to kind of the Adafruit ecosystem and everything. Adafruit Learn is here, which has got loads and loads of guides, and the guides are made up of multiple pages. And I am working on the Fruit Jam guide. Well, I'm working on the pages within the Fruit Jam guide currently. That's spelled right? Yeah, okay. Oh, my brain is stuck reading this as mousse, like chocolate mousse for some reason. Very new. Okay, yeah. First of all, welcome. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have fun. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to ask. If you join us on the Discord, which is shown below as well on the screen there, there's lots of folks there who are around always talking about fun stuff or helping people out. So if you do get started with hardware and have trouble, the Discord is a good place to go. Yeah, for sure. We don't really need this. I think we could say maybe mouse. Maybe we could say mouse demo code read data, actually. Let's do that. Like here where we have this, I'm just going to put something so this will save. Mouse demo code read data. Example uses USB host API to read data from the mouse and prints out the relevant values to the serial console. The CircuitPython USB host API is made to mimic PyUSB from CPython to read data from the mouse. The code must first scan the connected devices and find one with a boot mouse endpoint. Once a mouse device and endpoint are found, the code will try to read data from them in the main loop. If no data is sent, it will time out and simply keep trying again until data is present. Once it reads data from the mouse, it will print any buttons that are pressed, along with the delta X and delta Y values that represent how far the mouse has been moved and in which directions. The list buttons is created with left, right, middle. The order of the indexes of these values align with the boot mouse protocol, which will use bits in the same position to denote whether each button is being pressed or not. Okay, all of that is still relevant. And this is another one where the same code should just work, I think. I do need to plug in a mouse. Right now I have only the wired keyboard plugged in. And I am just going to use this mouse, which is a wireless mouse. I'm actually going to unplug the keyboard for now. I have just a... We're rotated there, I forgot. I have a Logitech wireless mouse. And then I believe... Same. Oop, I think that's me typing a backspace or something right there. Quiet typed. There we go. Logitech receiver, none. We found it. Interface index 0, endpoint hex address 81. And if I click the mouse, see there that I clicked the left button. All right, I noticed on the stream last time the chat kind of covers up. Of course, it's probably going to cover it up now. First. So the moving works as well, and I can press buttons. All right. So that example is good, and then we'll do the same thing, I think, where we just mentioned the other demo and link to the other page, because there is the display IO one, which also should work fine on the Fruit Jam. But this page is really meant to be like bare bones sort of hello world of the host. And boy, time does fly. We have about 10 minutes, so if there's any questions or comments or anything anyone wants to get in, feel free to drop those in any of the chats. I'll try to keep an eye on those, but we'll go about 10 more minutes, and then as always, well, as usual, I guess, as most of the time, if you are interested in this kind of stuff, I do also stream over on my own channel Saturday mornings. So tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central Time, I'll be back over there working on some more CircuitPython stuff, probably some more Fruit Jam stuff, in fact. Basic mouse embedded there, and then we'll have the output also here. I'm not going to record this one right now, though, because I do want to actually go and get this other mouse. Because this other mouse is the one that is stocked in the store. This is this one, the Sigma whatever. This is this mouse, which is relevant because it's the one stocked in the store. So I think it's good to keep the example with that if we can, rather than this random Logitech one that I have. Let me catch up here. No need to unplug the keyboard. You have 2 ports. That's true. I could keep the keyboard plugged in. Totally true. I could have. Plug it back in. I'm mostly a I am a pre-troubleshooter. Sometimes remove variables before problems present themselves in a attempt to head off problems. But actually, it would probably be good to test it with both. Okay, so keyboard's here now and mouse is here. And we'll rerun this. Oh, yeah. There, left click, right click, middle click. But yeah, I will wait, like I said, to record the GIF of that one until I can grab the other mouse. Where else right now? Okay, let me look at the preview of this page. Let's see if it's like already monstrous or it's not terrible. Terrible. Yeah. The mouse one is a little long, but that's how it goes because this one is like manual, right? The keyboard one, that's what I was saying about the STD-in keyboard is like, this is easy mode. Super easy, requires almost no code. Whereas this is more manual. You gotta like read the bytes out of there and interpret what they mean and such. A little bit more code, but it's still not terrible. I think we do have room still to also add the SNES like controller. Do this as well. Yeah, I should go back and test all of these. In fact, it looks like I used the hub on pretty much all of these. I don't. It might not be necessary anymore. So that's something I should absolutely do. In fact, let me make a to-do for that before I forget. And unfortunately, it's not going to be very interesting to you all because I need to do it over here. I want to be logged in. This is like internal base camp and stuff. I don't want to be leaking anything that we don't. Is the YouTube chat way behind? Are both the chats way? No, just must be this preview is way behind for some. Interesting. Let's see. Okay, go over USB host guides. Remove references to USB hub if it is no longer necessary to use it. Okay. That will be the thing that I do. Now we can just here and go maybe. Should we do the full like SNES like game controller, or should we just say game controller? We're gonna do the full thing. Same way we got code. Basically the same as what this is, I think. Say game controller after the first time. Yeah, totally. Yeah, if we refer to it again, yeah, in fact here, yeah, it would be a mouthful to call it that every time for sure. And to be clear, like this code will work with other game controllers. The thing that you'll have to do though is on your own game controller, you have to check and see which data value is in which position. Like I'm not going to say there's no standard. There might be a standard, but there's still not all the same, even if there is a standard. Like sometimes your joysticks will be in a different position, or your D-pad will be different, or your A and B buttons will be, you know, like kind of have to map your data packet to whatever each button is. But the like reading data from it works the same. You just have to interpret the data, and that depends on your controller. All right. Only power up when it's connected securely. I mean, this is good to mention, I suppose, but I don't know that it really matters that much. It probably, I mean, like when the hub is in the mix and there's more sort of bare jumper wires and stuff all around, I would say this is a little bit better advice. With everything nice and soldered and built in, and it's just a USB port, I mean, I think hot plug is not the end of the world. But we'll leave it as a just in case kind of a thing. Download, bundle, connect your computer to your backwards, but I'll leave it the same way since it's how it is in the other one. Known good USB. I'll call this USB-C cable because obviously we know that it's USB-C on this hardware. Copy CodePy in the required libraries. Codeful scan for the devices and print out each one that it finds, and it will read from the device in the loop of the gamepad, check which buttons are pressed. That, and then I think again, this is a deal where the same code should just work. Yeah, so this is the bit that may not work, like on a different controller. This part up here where we read from the device and we just print the raw sort of data that we got from it, that will work fine. But this stuff where it's actually going and checking, like, was the D-pad up or down or left or right or A button, B button, all of these could be different depending on which controller you have. I do think this code should just work, but I do not have the controller here to test with. I think it will have to wait. But what we can do is just put in placeholders for code embed and then GIF, and then that's it. Code embed and then GIF embed. Output GIF. Okay. Wi-Fi is a templated page, so it's not a completely blank page. It's got some stuff filled in, and then it's got some sections that need to be filled in still. So in this case, the pinout, I think we need change that though. For controller pinout. I need to probably look at another guide to figure out what was here. Wi-Fi. Connect. Same. This is different. Is it? I mean, it's definitely different in one aspect. It doesn't have a pinout section. It's also not. What is okay? Well, it's a mirror. I think a mirror is different than a template. Well, I think a template. I don't know. I don't know for sure. Well, definitely they're different. Yeah, a template and a mirror are different. I need to find a page that uses this template. I mean, the truth is, like, there is no real pinout, right? Because it's built in. The ESP32C6 is built in. Can't see it on mine because I do have this very snazzy top cover. But if we go to the product listing and look at the other photo, the Wi-Fi coprocessor is there, and like it has a pinout, right? It's wired to some certain pins, but you don't have to care that much because they are named in the core for ESP, which is what all the examples will use. So like, if like here, ESP busy, ESP chip select, ESP IRQ, ESP reset, ESP TX, ESP RX. So like those pins, actually TX and RX I think are only for programming the ESP. You don't use those just for Wi-Fi, I don't think. These pins and SPI though are what you use just for regular Wi-Fi. Every day, just send a request to the internet. And I'm not sure, I'll have to find another place where this template is used, because I'm not sure if it gets listed here, and then if so, how. If it's just like maybe we list out which pins they are, and maybe we show the sample code for initializing it or something. And then looks like we need to find the scan code as well, is what else is on this page. And then I would say like it'd be nice to do a request as well. This doesn't look like it's showing an actual request. Maybe not even joining a network. This looks like it's maybe just scanning. But it could be good, I think, also to do it more like this PyPortal one, in fact, where it does the scan, it prints the networks, but it also joins a network, and then it also... I shouldn't have done that. But then it also makes requests to the internet. I don't know that we need advanced in this guide, but just the basic would be good with a request. Like above, just printing the networks, but not necessarily anything super duper advanced. It'd still be good to document the pinout. Yeah, I think pinout for other platforms such as Zephyr. Yes, although I will say if I'm documenting it here, it is a CircuitPython page specifically. And we are going to be documenting the CircuitPython names of these pins. And I do not know at all how Zephyr pin names work, but it's possible. Like, I don't know if Zephyr uses these names or not. You might have to actually go, even if we put this in the page, you might still have to go to like CircuitPython core code, figure out which pin on the RP2350 is ESP busy. If Zephyr uses pin numbers like Arduino does, then you might have to do that. But like I said, I don't know. I have not messed with Zephyr at all, really. Okay, it is a couple minutes after, in fact, so we will wrap it up here for the night. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. I hope you all have a good rest of your Friday nights. I hope you have a good rest of your weekend. Like I said before, I'll be back tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central Time, over on my own channel. We'll probably be working on some more Fruit Jam stuff then. And okay, yeah. No, note for next week. No deep dive next week. I will not be around next week. I haven't talked to Scott actually, so maybe there is some chance Scott wants to. I'm not gonna put words in his mouth. I would say plan for not. But yeah, unless if he just happens to be not busy on Friday afternoon, which I don't think will be the case. Then there will be no deep dive next week. I've got Friday off next week for some other stuff. So no deep dive next week. I will be back the following week on CircuitPython Day, but the schedule will be different. Probably won't be deep dive. I have what I've been doing the last couple of years on CircuitPython Day is Game Jam stream. So I will probably stream as the last stream on CircuitPython Day. So it'll be, I don't know exactly what time it will be yet, but it will be around the same time, most likely Friday afternoon, evening-ish, Eastern-ish US time zone. But it won't be, working on CircuitPython itself or libraries or anything like that. It will be a Game Jam stream for CircuitPython Day. So we'll be on the Fruit Jam as well that day. But yeah, that'll be the next time I'm here on the Adafruit channel. CircuitPython Day, which is the 15th. Please tell me I'm not wrong with that. I hope I did not just say all of that wrong. I'm going to double check, because I really don't want to leave you all with wrong stuff. I'm almost positive that's right, though, right? I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah. Okay. Thank goodness. But yeah, CircuitPython Day on the 15th. That's the next time that I'll be back here for the Friday stream, but I will be around tomorrow on my own stream over on my channel. And with that, I will bid you farewell. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you next time.